into the smoke.
The future of a Billings nonprofit and all of its animals clouded by a serious incinerator incident that closed the facility and sent 14 people to the hospital.
We know that there's going to be certain areas that have been contaminated.
We'll dive into where all the dogs will be going and if the burning of drugs should have been happening in the first place.
What happens if something happens and no one is around to do anything about it?
And sharpening their skills.
We're throwing 3 knives, not at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Competitors from across the world converge on Billings, aiming to hit the bullseye in this unique competition.
The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm Andrea, Lutz.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. The Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter could know as soon as tomorrow what it will take to clean and repair its facility after meth contamination shut it down.
Last week, 14 employees were hospitalized, 75 dogs and cats evacuated, and tonight our Charlie Kleps looks into the fallout and where stray animals will go in the meantime.
Even though this smoke has cleared,
People are frustrated, people are angry.
Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter staff and animals continue to feel the effects.
There's some lingering coughs, lingering sniffles, that kind of stuff.
That smoke, caused by an incinerator operation going wrong, the FBI was burning meth when the ventilation system malfunctioned, sending 14 employees to the hospital.
And so I think they're doing as well as they can be at this time.
YVAS Board of Directors President Justin Hutchinson says he and others still have a lot of questions.
Test results could come in either today or tomorrow.
Highest on Hutchinson's list is a test from Newman Restoration Company, which will detail what it'll take to clean the building.
Even at the best case scenario, we're not getting back in the building for 2 weeks or up to a month.
And with the shelter now out of commission, many also are wondering where stray animals will be taken.
In the past, a couple of the emergency clinics in town would take stray animals.
Tiffany Smith with Trailhead Veterinary Services says that it's common practice for people to drop strays off at vets in Billings where they can be held until animal control can get them to the shelter.
Now that there is no operational shelter, what's happening to those animals?
Smith says she fears that vets will also become inundated with animals.
No clinic in town has the capacity to hold 75 to 100 animals at once on top of seeing patients.
MTN is also learning more about the air quality permit the Billings Animal Board was granted in 2010, which says, quote, the Billings Animal Control shall not incinerate or cremate any material other than animal remains and or any corresponding container unless otherwise approved by the department. Hutchinson says he and others were unaware the city was also using it to burn dangerous narcotics.
I see it as they were instructed to use it in a certain way, and they've used it in the ways that make news now.
He and others are now looking forward to a day when YVAS will be able to build a new facility in Wilson Park. The city's zoning commission has already approved the shelter, but more money still needs to be raised.
Having a new shelter would be instrumental in making sure that this doesn't happen again, because we would have a lot more control over everything.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
If the city of Billings is found to be negligent per their lease agreement, the city would cover all costs that may come out of this faulty incinerator incident. The lease reads, in part, the city will save and defend YVAS and hold harmless its officers and employees from any and all losses, damage, and liability resulting from any intentional or negligent act on the part of the city. We reached out to City Administrator Chris Kukalski, who tells MTN the city has followed all protocols for disposing of drugs at the incinerator. He says an update is expected at tonight's City Council meeting.
And as we've reported, Billings does have another incinerator specifically for destroying confiscated drugs, but it's unclear why the FBI and Billings police aren't using it. That incinerator belongs to Montana Highway Patrol. It sits on Laurel Airport Road. A Montana Department of Justice spokesperson says other law enforcement agencies routinely use those incinerators, but first must sign an agreement with MHP. The state incinerators are located in Billings, Butte, Great Falls, and Glendive. The Billings incinerator was installed in 2017.
The Northern Cheyenne tribal offices remain closed today except for essential services.
It comes after the Society of Chiefs shut down the offices on Friday following the removal of 8 tribal council members and 2 from the executive branch. Normally around 100 people would be working today, but now it's down to only 15.
This started when the tribal council tried to remove President Gene Small after he wanted to conduct an audit to determine how $94 million in federal money has been spent. That removal ultimately never went through, and he says he's still looking to get to the bottom of where the money went.
So we're going to keep up for what we're supposed to be doing, as business-wise. In the meantime, the chiefs are looking out for the best interest of the people. They're looking out for the people here. There's money being mishandled here, misappropriated, misspent, however you want to call it, and that's why they stepped in.
A timetable is not known, but a new council and executive board will be chosen by the chiefs.
Lame Deer Public Schools also shut down today after threats surfaced yesterday morning unrelated to the removal of those tribal council members. Administrators quickly decided to close, putting safety of students and staff first. School leaders are working with law enforcement who say there's no ongoing danger, but the investigation is still active. Classes are expected to resume tomorrow with extra security and restricted access on campus.
New details tonight surrounding a tragic crash in Shepherd yesterday that claimed the life of a 69-year-old Billings man. Montana High Patrol says he was riding his Harley east on US 312 when he slowed down to turn into a business, and a Subaru driven by a 25-year-old woman from Billings slammed into the back of the motorcycle. The rider died at the scene. The woman and a 3-year-old in the car were taken to the hospital. Investigators say alcohol may have played a role and the motorcyclist wasn't wearing a helmet. The crash remains under investigation.
The Wyoming National Guard has just received orders that it will soon be supporting immigration, custom, and enforcement officers. The governor's office says up to 15 guardsmen will support ICE over coming months, providing administrative, logistics, and transportation support. Guard Communications Director Joseph Kozlet says Guard members are currently doing administrative tasks to get ready to deploy, but will transfer soon. He says it could be another 2 weeks before he knows where and how many people will deploy to assist ICE.
Let's start with a look at Doppler radar. This is the kind of day it's been. Rain showers, some thunderstorms. A little bit of rain snow mix that'll turn into snow for the higher elevations. You can see that twirling around across eastern Montana. We'll see some of the bigger impacts into southeastern Montana and northern Wyoming here in the coming days. Today, far short of the average high. 67 today, 75 is where we typically be, even though we started off warmer than average at 57 degrees. Not much of a wind, up to 25 miles an hour, but 0.08 of an inch of precipitation regionally. And while we have cooler than average temperatures in the short term and more on the way for tomorrow, the red shaded areas indicate a warm up to come. We'll talk about it coming up.
We now know what will be going into the old Costco building off King Avenue. The Flying Pickle, a new pickleball facility, is headed for Billings. According to the company's website, the Flying Pickle, founded by 2 pickleball pros, delivers the ultimate experience for players of all skill levels. The facility will include more than a dozen courts, a lounge area, and a fully stocked pro shop. No membership will be required, and they expect to have both open and tournament play. An opening day for the Flying Pickle has not been set.
And Wingstop, the popular chain restaurant, is expanding into Montana, including Billings. The chicken wing restaurant plans to open its first Billings location November 11th, right at the intersection of 24th and Grand, next to the exotic pet store. That restaurant will be the first of 3 Wingstops to open in Montana, with another set to open in Bozeman in February and a third in Missoula in May.
The Mint Film Festival, it's back in Billings, and this week the Magic City will see dozens of films premiere for the very first time.
One of the most anticipated, a new movie from a Billings native who's been making waves in Hollywood for more than 30 years.
Our Isabel Sparts sat down with him to hear why coming back home matters more than ever.
If you want to make it out of your small town and into Hollywood,
you got to be there for your dream.
Preston Lee has been doing it for decades.
And you can't expect it to happen in 2 years or 3 years. It's It's a 10, 20-year plan.
That success is now in the form of his newest independent feature film, Omaha, as its producer, where it premiered at Sundance earlier this year.
Omaha has made it into a number of the bigger festivals, which has been amazing. So it's traveled the world.
A long way from his Montana roots. Lee was born in Havre and grew up in Billings, where he graduated from West High in 1985. After a semester at the University of Montana, it was time to head west.
Then decided to pack up my car and drive to Los Angeles to be an actor.
But quickly found a new love in producing.
There's something creative about producing, assembling the right crew, finding the material.
Today, Lee runs his own production company with credits on dozens of projects and commercials, but Omaha is his most personal.
I was really taken by the story, and I just felt like, I'm going to make this movie.
It's his first feature film with friend and director Cole Webley, starring John Magaro. The film tells the story of a father navigating grief with 2 children after the loss of his wife.
It's a road trip movie. It's a powerful little movie with hope, but there's some heartbreak as well.
Now he's coming back to his hometown. Omaha will premiere at the Montana International Film Festival on Thursday at the top of the ticket.
I'm excited to bring the film back here, show it to the local, friends and family. My mom is very, very excited.
But more than success, it will give him a rare chance to look back.
I think it's a bit crazier in the first 20 years, but then you kind of just forget and take it for granted. But when you come back here, I think the festival will be a big kind of reflection point.
And proof that chasing a dream is enough to take you far.
It's hard, especially when you move from a place like Billings to Los Angeles. It's a lot of people. For a Montanan to be stuck in the middle of 13 million people, if you give it 10 years and you work at that every day for 10 years, you'll be successful.
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Montana's Democratic Party chooses new leadership looking to get back to winning. 2 candidates stepped up to become the Democratic Party's next chair, former State Senator Shannon O'Brien of Missoula and former State Representative Mike Jopek of Flathead County. In the end, Democrats chose O'Brien to guide the party forward. A candidate for Superintendent of Public Instruction last year, she says she's ready to turn things around for Democrats in upcoming elections.
Montana Democrats have fire in the belly and want to make some changes, and we need to focus that energy on getting Democrats elected and supporting those values of affordability, of quality public education and health care that will serve all Montanans.
In addition, the delegates also updated their party rules, including a requirement to provide more complete financial reports.